Love you all. Welcome all you lovers to the Florida Love Show. This is your love hour right before happy hour, sponsored by Florida Love. Join us each week as we spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love. Now, back to spreading love.
This is for you, Kenny. It's the Florida Love Show, paying love forward is the theme. It's the Florida Love Show, hosted by Kenny and his dream. Every special guest brings their love to the set, and the interview flies, it all comes alive like a duet. He wears many hearts, so he has a very special side. In the Brooklyn Cafe, it's a big love buffet. With roses galore, men you are adored. Come take a bouquet. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Shine your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Love this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Give the gift of love and pay it forward and go. Give a kiss, give a hug. It's the Florida Love Show. Love you, Ken.
Love you, Sharon. I am so excited for this show today. I have Sharon back. I love Sharon so much. So it's actually Sharon and my 1-year anniversary. Happy anniversary, Sha. Love you, love you, love you, love you. So with this is our 1-year anniversary of the Florida Love Show together. And Sha, she looks so beautiful today. I'm so excited to hear her sing. And she walks in with this gift for me, anniversary gift. And again, who can you give a rose to or a gift to? She gave me this gift that said, "Love you to the moon and back." And it's got a key, the key to the heart, and this beautiful rose bag. And again, who could you give a gift to? Who could you give a rose to? Who could you say I love you to? So here on the Florida Love Show, we say I love you to everyone. I come out of my apartment, I say I love you to my neighbor, my doorman, the person in the elevator, my maintenance man. I say I love you to everybody. I was in Publix, I say I love you to everybody. And 99.9% of the time they say I love you back. And sometimes they even say love you more. Everybody wants to love and be loved. And today is Autism Love. We're going to love autism. The whole show is about National Autism Awareness Month. And I have two incredible guests, Stanley Goodman, who's going to share about his son who had autism, and Evelyn Falconer, who's going to share about this incredible school that just loves kids with autism, the Unicorn Village Academy. And so I'm just so excited for this show. And God is love. God is spreading love today. And when things get crazy with coincidences, God is spreading love. I mean, for example, Tina Love, who's from the Hugs and Smiles Children's Foundation, Stanley Goodman, who's on her board, she introduced me to Stanley. Stanley's son has autism. And then Stanley and my dad went to the same high school in the Bronx, Monroe. And then just now we found out that Stanley grew up in Port Jefferson and Evelyn grew up in Port Jefferson. Okay, so this is when coincidences get crazy, God is spreading love all over the world. So when I say I love you, it's freedom. I call it loving it forward. So we're going to love it forward with Autism Love today. So the first thing I want to do is I want to play the news where I give out roses to teenagers and I say I love you. Just to start it off, just to love teenagers. So please play the news.
We're continuing to bring you inspiring stories from our area about people changing their communities for the better. Tonight, WPTV News Channel 5's Chris Gilmore shares the story of a man on a mission to spread love, one rose at a time.
Roses are red and Ken Lerman's suit is too.
Love you, Anthony.
If you see his bouquets, he has a message for you.
Man, love you, brother.
The 55-year-old loves love.
I love you.
And he now uses roses to let people know it.
No, I love you.
There's some pain behind Lerman's purpose. His Roses for Change campaign began this summer after he and people across the country witnessed the fallout following the death of George Floyd while in police custody.
How can one human being do that to another human being? Like, I was crying when I saw it.
Armed with roses and a message of love, Lerman says he wanted to reach those most affected.
I got to give this to all the African Americans. They're hurting.
His message has since caught on both online and in Palm Beach County, where he regularly shares love and roses to people of all colors. We caught up with Lerman with 100 of his favorite flowers in hand at the Milagro Center in Delray Beach.
A lot of learning goes on every day here in the Milagro Center, but today's lesson consisted of some flowers and 3 words going a long way.
I love you.
I was surprised and I was like, oh, I love you too.
A lot of these teens say it's been a while since they've heard those words directed at them,
I love you.
and even longer since they have been given flowers.
It was kind of weird at first. I was like, roses giving someone flowers. It was kind of weird because I didn't expect that, but it's pretty nice. It's a really nice gesture.
He said, I love you, you stay safe, and told my grandma happy birthday too.
Lerman says he hopes the connection he makes with strangers leaves a lasting impact.
That's my mission every single day, to spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love.
Because maybe all you need is love. In Delray Beach, Chris Gilmore, WPTV News Channel 5.
And you can help us share stories that are inspiring South Florida. Just send us your ideas.
Love you, Chris Gilmore. So I always say on the show, life is short, and I could pass in a second. I could pass now. And that's how I live my life. Like, I could pass now. So every moment I spend just loving everybody. And we're going to be having a day of love, okay, on May 16th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., sponsored by Publix. And we're going to be handing out roses to everyone there and just loving everyone. So this will be May 16th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I'll be posting and keeping everybody updated on this amazing day of love, to just love everyone. And I want to introduce someone who's very special to me, who's been on this show many times, Rachel Barcelona. So Rachel Barcelona has autism, and she has a nonprofit called Ability Beyond Disabilities. So she has sung many times on the Florida Love Show. And I reached out to Rachel, she couldn't be on the show. I mean, she lives on the western side of Florida. And she said, Kenny, play all the videos. Go ahead, you know, spread the autism love. So that's what I'm going to do. So this video is Rachel singing at Madison Square Garden on a very special day, because this was right after the Orlando massacre in that gay club. And it wasn't just Pride Day, Day of Pride. It was like Orlando Love Day and Orlando Pride Day. And Rachel sang. So I was very moved when I saw it, and so I'm going to play it for you. Please play Rachel singing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Love you, Rachel. Love you, love you, love you. So Rachel has autism, and she has ability beyond disabilities, and she's unstoppable. Nothing will stop her. And she, I think right now, is going to be competing in the Miss Florida pageant, and she just says, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do in my life. She is incredible. So I'm going to play a video about judging. So I always play a video, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. And this one is about, with what's going on right now with COVID, about loving our frontline workers and not judging. So please play the video about not judging.
Yeah, I'll put them away right now, no problem.
No, I told you I need the report by today.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for...
No.
Sir, can you please put your mask on?
Jeez, yeah, I got it. Could you be any slower? Thanks for nothing.
Here's your groceries.
Thank you. Oh, good. There's avocados. How are
What's
you?
this? Where are... What are you doing here?
Oh, Matt, this is Madison. Madison, Matt. Mom hired her from the local market to get my groceries each week since I started chemo. I'm gonna go get that money.
Okay.
You're helping my sister?
Yeah, whenever I can.
I'm really sorry about earlier today. It has been difficult for all of us. Thank you for all that you do.
Of course.
This is Madison.
Madison has been working at this grocery store for over a year now, but it has never been the amount of commitment and dedication that it has since COVID-19. Madison exposes herself daily to the virus to continue working and continue putting food on the shelves for everyone so she can put food on the table for her family. Not only is she protecting herself, but she's protecting all of us by wiping down the aisles, the counters and registers each time after she has checked someone out. She puts tape down daily to make sure patrons are maintaining their social distance. She helps the elderly get their food safely. She shows up at 5 a.m. to wipe down carts and floors and pass out hand sanitizer and gloves. She bags all of your food. She works double shifts to help her store, who has lost some employees who are not able to work any longer. When the store closes, she restocks everything to make sure that the next day, us and our families, can get all that we need. What you don't know about Madison, she does all of this to feed her family, to keep a roof over her family's head. She has people she is worried about, thinking about and caring for, people that are dependent on her. Today, remember all of the people who put themselves at risk for us. That food that you're eating today is on the table because of the employees at stores. The reason you're able to shop safely is because of the employees at the stores. They're also our frontline workers. Remember to stop and thank those who are working and keeping us all safe. If you want even more videos just like this one, click on...
Love you, love you, love you. Yes. So I'm thanking all the frontline workers out there. Love you, love you, love you. And really, I mean, you're fighting for us. So please comment in. Please keep commenting in. And again, I love you, love you. Oh, I love you, Victoria. Love you, love you. Oh, this is so great. Victoria, love you. So please comment in. So every week I play from Love Songs. We have a group called Love Songs with over almost 20,000 people on it. So I'm going to play a duet today that I was in tears as I listened to it. And these incredible, I'm actually just going to let it play. So please play the duet. Yang from Dallas, Texas. Again, on Love Songs. Go on Love Songs, 20,000 people, and you will find love songs from all over the world. Doesn't matter where in the world we are, love is love. So I love you all. I'm going to bring on Sharon right now. So Sharon is going to actually share with you, because she hasn't been here for 4 weeks, and I'm going to let her share with everybody and love everybody and sing for everybody. Love you, Shar. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. So glad to be back. It's been a whirlwind, to say the least. It started with going on vacation on a beautiful wellness retreat with my daughter to Hippocrates. And I was only supposed to be gone for those 2 sandwiched-in Fridays. Unfortunately, when I came home, after doing everything to be healthy, the next day was my father's birthday. And I was feeling weird. Nothing major, just weird. And my sister-in-law is pregnant. My father's in his 70s. So I said, you know, to be safe, like we always do, I went to get tested for corona. And imagine my shock when it was positive. I think I sat in the car for like 5 minutes because I couldn't believe it. I had just tested the week before, and it was fine. I was in a place where everyone was supposed to be fine. We weren't allowed to go off campus because of that. And there I was, positive. And the next 10 days, I went straight into quarantine. I happened to be one of the lucky ones because I had it very, very mild. But what was so awful about this disease, beyond everyone treating you like you have the cooties, was the mental game. Because I knew people who died. I know of people who died when it went into their lungs, and they were only 10 years older than me, with no other before symptoms other than being overweight. So my mind was always about, just don't let it get in my lungs, just don't let it get in my lungs. And if I even thought for a minute that I was feeling it here or that the congestion was getting worse, I would freak out. I was having like panic attacks. That was the worst part of it. Luckily, like I said, I never had fever. I only lost my smell for 3 days, and I never lost my taste. And when the doctor told me that on the 10th day I wasn't contagious anymore, I waited 2 more days before I came down, because even though my husband's vaccinated, my daughter, who's 15, is not. Nobody got it, thank God, for me. And then after that has been already 2 weeks where I tested twice negative, so I could come back here and tell you all what's been going on with me. The after effects of COVID are being really tired, both physically and emotionally. And you do feel like a survivor when you go through something like that. I've had worse things, sinus infections, strep throat, but nothing has affected me both physically and mentally like this. So before having it, I wasn't really for the vaccine. I was scared of it. Scared of being a couple of days, you know, with fever, with whatever, and also what's in it and all that. If I could go back and get vaccinated when my husband did, I would do it 100%. Not only did Jacob not get it from me being in the, in the same house and same room, but dealing with 2 days of feeling iffy and 2 weeks of being afraid for your life, completely different story. So when thinking of coming back, I decided to sing I Will Survive. For all the people who have been through it, who know people who have been through it, who survived it with flying colors, whether mild or not, it doesn't matter. Like I said, the emotional strain of it is really, really difficult. So for all of our frontliners that deal with it every day, for all the people who've had it and survived it, and for those who've lost people, I will survive. First I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong, and I learned how to get along, and saw your back from outer space.
I just walked in to find you here without that look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your keys. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Oh, now go, walk out the door. Just turn around now. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to break me with goodbyes? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. To all of you out there who survived anything and everything, it took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent oh so many nights feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high and you see me, somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in and just expect me to be free. Now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Oh, now go, walk out the door. Just turn around now. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to break me with goodbyes? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. Gonna go, walk out the door. Just turn around now. Corona, you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to break me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. I will survive. Thank you.
As long as I know how to love, I know I'll be alive.
That's right.
And I know I'll stay alive as long as I know how to love.
Love is the cure to everything, to fear, to needing medicine, to being ill. You know, when I was at Hippocrates, in fact, you know, they talk about raw foods and they talk about wheatgrass and all kinds of stuff. But they actually, you know, after all those things, the bottom line was love and a good attitude and a good spirit, which, you know, many, many years ago, I did something called clown care. And clown care was coming dressed up like a singing clown nurse into the children's hospital in Israel and just, you know, making those children laugh and smile, because there's nothing that helps healing faster than feeling good and laughing.
So I love you, Shah. And Shah's going to sing later today, so I'm excited. And so I want to introduce my first guest, who to me is, he reminds me of my dad. So my dad passed June 10th, 96, and I miss him every second. And when Tina Love of Hugs and Smiles Children's Foundation, the executive director, introduced me to Stanley Goodman of the Goodman Foundation, and I found out his son had passed from autism. And I was so grateful and lucky, and thank you, God, for spreading love and for me meeting Stanley, because Stanley and I have become buddies this week. I love you, Stanley, so much. I love you, love you, love you. Like I have my dad back. It's so amazing. And Tina calls him Uncle Stanley, right, Stanley? So, yeah.
Patina, yes.
Yeah. So, so Stanley, please share a little bit about your son and your experience with autism.
Well, Thank you for having me. I think I represent a lot of parents who are going through autism, and I want to express my help for every one of them. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a parent who lived with a son for 45 years. Just a little bit background is my son was not only autism, but he had epilepsy. And because of brain damage, he couldn't stutter. He stuttered. He couldn't put two sentences together. It all started when he was 5 years old, when he fell down. And the doctors had, you know, gave him medicine at that time. We have to go back 50 years to realize that there was no such thing as autism. It was considered retarded. And if you have the label at that time that you're retarded, you're rejected no matter where you go. He's just a sick boy, he's retarded. Don't even play with him, don't talk to him. But he was really autistic, what people are going through now. Thank God now there are foundations where they can explain to the parents and explain to what they have. And there's also special ed classes. Growing up, he didn't have any special ed classes. He was in and out of hospitals every time because they overdosed him. He would get up and fall down. And then they told me, well, there's nothing we can do about your son because we're going to have to put him into a hospital or put him into a home. And I couldn't handle that. Well, as God sends you somebody, there was very few pediatric neurologists who were available in New York, which is where I came from. And she took a look at him and she said, you know what, he's overdosed. Let me take him to my hospital where I will help him. And that's exactly what she did. She took him off of the medicine. She also told me, don't come by for the next 3 days because you won't like the way what's happening, because anybody that gets off of drugs goes through it. And he's 5 years old at this point. And then she cleaned him up, and she found him and you know, cleaned him up. Now we're dealing with the epilepsy because you didn't know what he was doing. He wasn't talking, he wasn't doing anything. So once we cleaned him up from the epilepsy and got the seizures under control, we then have a person who you can deal with. Remember, he's now 6 years old. He doesn't know anything except falling down and having pain. So now he's okay. Now he started to function. So we have to send him to kindergarten. You have to send him to school. But then again, he's labeled now as now epileptic, but he's also labeled now as this boy who's retarded. So the kids would make fun of him, which was very, very tough because he would come home and he's crying and he didn't understand what was going on, and we didn't understand what was going on as parents. There's no manual that says at that age that, this is going back 50 years, there's no manual that says, hey, this is it. You know, the only manual that they had is keep them away from everybody. It was tough growing up too, because what happens is that the kids are making fun of him. He didn't want to fight back. He didn't know to fight back. Later on, we took him to karate school so they can challenge some of his anger, and that helped him a lot. You have to deal with parents, and I'm sure that they still do the same thing. When people have another son, and you're trying to keep the son away from, not from what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on either. He was the younger brother. But people would invite him to a party in the house, and they would say, you can come and invite Richard, but don't invite Richard. That's my son's name. Don't invite Richard. Now, how do you think you feel knowing that you got to tell your other son, you can go, and then you got to tell the other kid, hey, you can't go because they don't want you there. Anyway, as he finished up the school, we moved to Coral Springs. And he was then 13, I think, and he went to high school at Coral Springs High School, which he finished. They had a special aid teachers there. I think we're one of the first ones in Florida that had it, and that's why we picked Coral Springs. And he graduated. And then he went to a school in Florida Atlantic University where they taught him a job, something that he could do. He had issues with that because of his stuttering and because of his stuff. People at work would make fun of him. And, but with this is nature. It doesn't make a difference that he has it. But the autism was really, I guess I was more or less, didn't know how to handle it. And I think parents still don't know how to handle it when the kids are autistic. And that's where I'm spending most of my time now with the parents and explaining to them the kids are not dumb. The kids have an ability to do other things besides the autism. What happened a long time, then he had an accident at 45. Okay, he had an accident, and a boating accident, and he passed away. But in cleaning up his room, we found something amazing, that he wrote poetry. We found discs that he wrote poetry. Now, this is a boy that stuttered and couldn't put two sentences together, and yet he wrote poetry that was perfect. The language was perfect, and all it said was that I love everybody, and why can't you accept me for who I am? And so what I did was I took all his poetry and I put it into a book called The Unsung Poet. And of course you can get it on Amazon, also on Barnes & Noble. But the reason that I published the book is because this is one of the first times we were able to get into a mind of an autistic child. I mean, how many times you get an opportunity like that? And I didn't want it to go to waste, because his words are all about love. Everything is about, I love the sun, I love the dogs. You know, it was something that you have to read. If you're a parent and you have a child and you didn't know, and I take guilty for this, the kid loved to do poetry. Okay, I guess because poetry is not great for a man, and I blew it. Okay, because I didn't make a big deal out of it when he wrote it, and and it's beautiful, and I didn't make a big deal out of it. He got awards even for it that he did all by himself, sending it to the Poetry Society. I didn't handle it that way, so I'm here to tell the parents, if your child likes music, let him just do music. If he likes to do art, let him do art, but let him be free. Okay, I hate to say this, but sometimes maybe they're overdosing your child just to keep him quiet. Don't keep him quiet. Let him live his life. Let him go out by himself. Don't be afraid he's going to get hurt. You know, how many times Richard fell down? He wanted to ride a bicycle. And I thought to myself, wow, this is dangerous. I can't have him ride a bicycle. He's just... And then, you know, my mother, God bless her, she said, let him ride. So he falls down. So what? Kids are closer to the ground. They can't get hurt. And I said, okay. He went on there, fell down. Went on there again, he fell down. Went on there again, he fell down. He said, I can't do this. And I said, yes, you can do it. He went on there again, with my encouragement, I guess, and he was riding a bicycle. He later got us into a scooter. You know, okay. So he got wheels. He was able to get around. He couldn't talk, but he was able to get around, meet people. You know, do what he had to do. And that's basically what I'm saying to the other parents. Please, encourage your child to do what they like to do. He's not going to be like every child that you have. And if you have one or two other children, don't compare him to anybody else. He's smarter than you think. There's a brain in there that's unbelievable. He was very good on the computer. If you had an issue, you would call Richard, fix my computer. And within 4 or 5 minutes, he would have that computer fixed. Now, why? We wondered that by ourselves. Well, how can he do that? It's because he thinks logically differently than we think. For example, if you're looking at a computer and it's A, B, C, D, and he sees A, B, C, and then there's something missing between the D, he knows, well, that doesn't belong there, and he's out. And once he does that, he sees it. You can't see that. It'll take, you know, somebody, I guess, with any knowledge would miss it. But he sees it's out of place. That's what I'm trying to explain. There are people, like you just saw that lady that's singing. There's another boy that I know of who he likes music. He taught himself, he can play any song, you just name it, he'll play it on the piano. No lessons. Richard had no lessons on computers, but he was a whiz. They have the ability, but you have to let them go out. Don't let them be locked into the house. So what? If he goes out by himself, he's not going to, so what? He falls down. Let him be. Let him have a life. Remember one thing, too, and that always bothered me. How is he going to take care of himself when I'm not here? And the only way to do that is to get him to understand that he has to get dressed, has to make, has to cook, has to do everything. It's not easy. It's a learning process. But every time he learns something, he's happy. And he loves you. Okay? Again, I had to make a living. My wife couldn't handle a lot of the situations. Most of the divorces, by the way, are from, one side of the family is a husband or the wife who can't handle the situation of an autistic child or an epileptic child, which is okay, I guess, you do. But one person will always step up. One person, no matter what will happen, and it's usually the mother will step up. In some cases, the father steps up. In my case, it was me. I had to step up. I had to say, okay, I'm going to do it. Again, there's no manual. Did I do it wrong? Did I did it right? I don't know if I did it right or did it wrong. All I know is I had to bring him up. And my mind was, what's going to happen to him if I'm not here? So when I published the book, The Unsung Poet, I show it to you again. Money was starting to come in. People would give me donations. So I formed the Goodman Foundation, Inc. And the Goodman Foundation, what I do with that is I go to the Children's Hospital and I deal with the parents. The children are taken care of. They have doctors, they have nurses, but the parents have to stay over. And I remember when Richard was in the hospital and I had to stay over. Now some hospitals give them food and some hospitals don't, but I give them a voucher that they can go down to the cafeteria and have food, have coffee, have something to eat, take a break. Don't go far, because they can't. Take a break, and that's what they do. That's what the Goodman Foundation does, with the donations that come in from the book and from the people giving us the thing. Again, this is my way, I guess, of telling Richard, hey, I didn't know you liked to do poetry, but this is what I'm doing for you. And the money that comes in, I give it right away to these people. And if they're there a week, I cover them. If they're there 2 weeks, I cover them. And, maybe I take a little bit in my house. I feel good about that. And Kenny would say, I love it. I love what I'm doing. And
yeah, you love what you're doing. So I love Richard so much that when I made this slideshow, I was in tears. And when I read that book, I was in tears. Richard is pure love. Your son is pure love, and he's a genius, and he's brilliant.
In his own way.
And everybody read this book, because I'll tell you, the love poems that he wrote from the heart, it's pure love from the heart. Your son is so beautiful. So I want to show everybody the slideshow of your beautiful, beautiful son, Richard.
Brings tears to my eyes. Just thank you for putting that up.
So Sharon, the Florida Love Show singer, saw the book and read some poetry and read about Richard. First she said, I want to sing Stanley a happy birthday song. So we're going to sing you a happy birthday, Stanley, 21. Happy 21st birthday.
There you go.
There you go. So we're going to sing you a happy birthday, Stanley.
I love that on one leg, probably.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stanley. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
I thank you for that. I did.
Sharon, out of reading the book and the poetry, Sharon creates songs. She has a organization called Gift of Song, and she went to Florida Florida Love Show song. So she wrote a song for you and Richard, To Love You and Richard. So Sharon's going to sing that song, To Love You and Richard.
So Stanley, looking at all the poems, Kenny and I chose one of them that was talking all about love. And I incorporated into this gift of song. And what I do is I take a very well-known song. In this case, it is Disney's Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. And I changed it to Part of Richard's World. And all the words are specifically for you and for Richard. Look at this kid, isn't he neat? Was misunderstood, 'cause he couldn't speak. We are all here now, together loving him. When he passed, treasures arose. How many poems can one kid compose? Looking in his book, he said everything. You want words and feelings, there's plenty. He's got rhymes and genius galore. To know Richard, there's plenty. So listen to my song, I'll tell you more. Richard was the silent type, but underneath his mind was dancing, loving everyone in his own way. Don't you know, can't you see what you do to me? Can't you see just how you make me feel? Can't you see how I feel that I really love you, care for you with all my heart and all my soul, so deeply and passionately, describing the feeling that I feel, can't you see? Don't you know that I love you so? Bet you didn't even know how I feel. This is Richard, the unsung poet, ready to say, I'm ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. It's you that I want and nobody else but you. Nobody else but you. Don't you know? Don't you know? Can't you see? He wrote from his heart. It's Richard's
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And that's part of one of his poems.
Yes.
That's in,
Don't you
that's
know?
in here. Don't you know? Don't you know is right.
And you know, when I was reading it, Stanley, I was wondering who he was in love with, because he expressed so much love in that. Don't you know that I love you? That it's only you that I want. And I was wondering if he had some secret crush, if you knew about it.
I think he loved women. I think he loved girls. It's just that they couldn't attach to him because, you know, he wasn't a macho guy in the school. But I think he loved everybody. He loved dogs, he loves animals, he loves anything, you know, that paid attention to him and stood through his stuttering to hear what he had to say. It didn't take much. There was so much. All he wanted to do was just ask people, why can't you accept me for who I am? And in this world, that's what the problem is. if you're not a star, if you're not the star of the football team, then you're nothing in high school. You know, and everybody's been through this. It's not just him, but he had to go through it the hard way. You know, and then I'm sure he tried to love, but unfortunately he couldn't. He couldn't do what other people would do, and a woman would take a look at him and say, you know, I can marry you and stuff like that. But he would have loved to have children. He would have loved to have all of that.
Yeah.
It's just not one of the things that he was allowed to have.
Yeah, he was pure love. Yeah.
Which basically every one of the poetry that he writes,
Yeah.
no matter, pick a subject, even the kitty cats. He had a cat, and a cat that he kept, and that was it. And I'm gonna just say one more story that he had a dog. We had a dog that called Bootsy, from a puppy, and because of the epilepsy, now a dog could see the aura before the person has the seizure. I didn't know that until I watched what happened. But he would watch Richard like there was no tomorrow. He would be every step of the way with Richard whenever he got up in the morning. And one time Richard didn't come to breakfast, and I came in to see what was wrong in his room, and there it was. He was having a seizure in the bed, and the dog was on two hands holding him from coming off the bed. That's what a dog can do. And if you have a dog at home and you have epilepsy, that's what the dog is doing, is watching that child more than you know. If you take that child and take that dog, which will love that child, when you're not there, he's going to protect that child all the way through. You know, if they have epilepsy, if they have a seizure, he will push the person down, technically, and you know, hold them, and not let anybody, not even let an EMS get near that child or the man or the woman. He will protect that person, and that's what a dog does. And it's just amazing.
Stanley, before I go to my next guest, would you please read that poem, Don't You Know, so that everybody knows what Sharon sung and what Richard wrote? It's so beautiful.
Did you go? Oh, I got it. I need my glasses as you get older. The poem's Don't You Know. Can't you see, don't you know, what you do to me, how you make me feel? Can't you see how I feel, that I really do love and care for you, with all my heart and soul, so deeply and passionately? Words cannot come close to describing the feeling I feel. Can't you see, don't you know, that I love you, I want you, that I am in love with you and need you in my life, to bring me joy and happiness and make my life complete and fulfilled. Can't you see? Don't you know? Can't you see what you do to me and how you make me feel? Can't you see the love in my heart and I have for you? Don't you know? Can't you see? Can't you feel? It's you I want, nobody else but you. Can't you see? Don't you know? Put it into perspective. And the poems again from the book called The Unsung Poet. You can pick it up on Amazon. This is a picture of him, by the way. And it's thank you for having me.
I love you so much, Stanley. Again, you're my dad. You're my dad. I love you so much, and I love Richard so much. So again, I want to thank you so much for being on the Florida Love Show today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So I'm going to bring on my second guest, and this is actually great because this school for kids with autism loves kids with autism. And it's a place, now they have places to go for kids with autism. So this is the Unicorn Village Academy. So I want to welcome Evelyn, who's the executive director. I love you, Evelyn.
Students after they graduate or after they turn 22, because at that age, just because the school system says they're not students anymore, doesn't mean that they're ready to be out in the community on their own. So, so we teach them life skills, vocational skills. We focus heavily on academics to make sure that they can all get their high school diplomas. Some of our students go to college. Some of them get jobs. We just help them get to that point. Unfortunately, all of our students have come to us because they're not successful in the typical school setting, and for all different reasons. And so we focus on their strengths and their abilities. We give them the level of support that works best for them to help them reach their goals. We help the families, however they need, to give them the support they need to help their children so that they can succeed. And it's, you talk about love. I love someone with autism. You've heard about that. I also want to mention that today is National Unicorn Day. But the most important thing is that our school is for the students that need the support, and everyone deserves to go there. And unfortunately, not everyone can afford it. And one of our biggest obstacles is, because we're a small school, we do charge tuition, we have bills to pay, but families that can't afford the tuition can't come to the school. So we've worked really hard over the years sustaining our scholarship dollars to help the families that need it. And so that's the one thing that, if I could get out there to help these kids, love these kids, teach them what they need to know to survive, to thrive, to become something, not hidden, not put away, not made fun of, but actually, true champions. They need help. They need funds. So, unicornvillageacademy.com is our website. We're currently located in Boca, but we're going to be moving to Delray, to a beautiful facility just adjacent to Murakami. It's going to be amazing. We're all excited about that. And I know I'm looking at the time, so I'm talking fast. But yeah, if anyone can help, knows anyone that can help, please reach out to us. That is probably the most important thing anyone could ever do for these kids, is to help them get the education they deserve, the experiences and opportunities. So, thank you.
So everybody out there can donate to the Unicorn Village Academy.
Yes.
And they can donate through the website.
Right. You can, through the website, or you could contact us directly. You can call the school. You can email us. All of that information is on the website, all of our contact information. And, or you can call me directly. I'm Unicorn Village Academy. 561-826-9156 is our main number. Our email is info@unicornvillageacademy.com. We're really easy to find. But please, help us help our students. They deserve it.
And you were going to share a success story. Can you please share your success story?
Sure, I've got so many. Well, I can tell you that we've had students come in, one in particular who at a young age, parents were told that your child will never be able to work. Your child will never be able to succeed, just accept it. This is the harsh reality, and, let's just get through one day at a time. Fast forward a whole bunch of years, attending many programs, coming to our school. The student not only graduated from high school successfully, he also got a job. He is still working at this job years later. And the parents are like, if I had listened to the doctors, if I had listened to the teachers, he would just be sitting in his room on a computer all day long doing nothing. And we have so many of these. I mean, I have students that have had such major significant behavioral problems that they were bounced from one school to another, and now they're, again, employed. And that's the most important thing, is giving them a sense of purpose. It's giving them value. Everybody wants to be loved, but also everyone needs a purpose. They need to have a reason. You just don't wake up and do nothing. So having a job to go to every day, or a few days a week, is really very, very important for everybody.
So is there any message you want to leave everybody for today? I love you so much, Evelyn. I love the success stories. I love Unicorn, and it's Unicorn Day.
Unicorn Day. Just don't forget about our kids. They're our future, a big part of our community, and we need to love them.
So please, Evelyn, I love you. Thank you for coming
Yes.
Site?
Yes.
UnicornVillageAcademy.com?
Yes.
Great. And again, I love you, Evelyn, and I love those success stories. Amazing.
Thank you, Kenny. Love you back.
Yeah, yeah. So I love you all, and I want to leave you today with Rachel Barcelona. Rachel Barcelona has ability beyond disabilities, and she believes you can be anything you want to be, no matter who you are. And like Stanley said, that kids, if they like music, art, dance, whatever, poetry, let them be. You know, and love is freedom. So I love you all. So I'm going to leave you with Rachel Barcelona and her Sephora ad so you can get an idea about Rachel.
I'm Rachel and I have autism. I was diagnosed with autism at age 3. I have epilepsy and dyspraxia, which is another thing that comes with autism. It's kind of like a package deal. I had trouble walking, sitting. I have weakness in my hands. I couldn't even hold a pencil, but yeah, I was bullied a lot. Always being told that I was stupid. I remember being in my principal's office in preschool. There were doctors in there saying, this girl's never gonna amount to anything. It's hard because I never really thought of myself as beautiful for the longest time. But Sephora really inspired me. So it started from teaching myself how to hold a pencil to an eyebrow pencil, and I don't think I do a terrible job. I did my own makeup today. Recently, I found my own beauty. When my mom and I go into Sephora, I like playing with lipstick and lip gloss. But to be honest, I think that people shouldn't be afraid to go natural because you should embrace the beauty you have on the inside. As a kid, I wanted to be an author so bad. That was just within me. And now I'm in college, double majoring in creative writing and communications. Since I have autism, I used to hate loud noises, but right now, music plays a big part of my life. I'm going to have my own radio show that will explore the barriers between opera and heavy metal, and I'm excited. Well, I think everybody still struggles to belong. We always have to find our place in this world, and we're always working hard, but I think I belong now because I have people who care about me, they love me for me, and I'm starting to love myself every day, and that's good, right? Autism doesn't hinder people. We are not like what people see in the media. We are capable. I just tell myself, Rachel, you're not disabled. You can do this. We can conquer anything.
You've been listening to the Florida Love Show, where we've been spreading love in the Florida community. For more information, please contact me, Kenny Love, at 917-699-1995 or ken@florida-love.com or on our website, florida-love.com. See you next week, 3 p.m. Friday for the Friday Love Hour. Keep spreading love in your life and have a loving week. Love you all.